Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to fourth quarter. We are back, and guess what? The finals are here. They're here with the Mavs. I mean, we all kind of knew it, right? We all knew it. We kind of. I know people were, what if Minnesota wins? But pretty much on this podcast, we knew it was going to be Timberwolves. You know, I I mean, we knew the Timberwolves were going to get gentlemen swept. Speaking of that, Craig, why do you think the Wolves got gentlemanly swept? They were swept nice.
I mean, they were in every game.
Yeah.
Except for the last one. They laid an egg in that one at home. But I think that their pick and roll defense, their experience or inexperience, and then just they ran into Luka. Like Luka was playing a lot better in this series than he did, especially in their first series. He was a little banged up. Kyrie also played a lot better. And you can see on the other side, and then Dallas's defense was they stepped up on the defensive side, which a lot of people, including myself, thought Minnesota was going to be the better defensive team because that's what they've been pretty much the whole playoffs. And it was just the opposite. And I think the Wolves they're just a young. At least some of the stars are young. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, his first time getting this far in the playoffs. So I think they're going to retool, and I think they'll be back next season possibly to make another run. But they just ran into a better team, and Dallas's defense, like I said, they stepped up on that defensive end. Minnesota could not make any shots. They missed a lot of wide open shots. And then some shots were contested. They shot a horrible percentage from three for the most part. Getting outboarded. They were just getting out hustled in that series, and they had a chance to win some of those games as well. And you could chalk it up to coaching, you could chalk it up to just bad plays or whatever you want. But I got to give Dallas a lot of credit because they could have been up 3-0 and then losing game 4. You go back to Minnesota, they could have just folded there. And Minnesota they gave Minnesota a couple opportunities, but they just never were able to capitalize on it. And Luka came out on fire in that first quarter. So
crazy.
I thought it was going to go back to a game 6. I actually had Minnesota winning this series for the playoff start before this series started, and wasn't to be the case. So this is the best case scenario for the NBA. They get 2 big markets. We get 4 stars. So I'm looking forward to this series tomorrow night. It's going to be crazy, but yeah, Minnesota, they have an opportunity next year to make some changes and possibly get back to the conference finals again.
Yeah, I love it. Mo, why do you think the Timberwolves got swept?
I think the one Dallas defensively. And we talked about this a number of times. I think the Jason Kidd having a conversation with Luka and Kyrie, but I also think Luka and Kyrie having a conversation with themselves in the mirror. Like, if we're gonna get to the next level, we got to get better defensively. I don't care how much you want to talk about putting the ball in the basket. You got to play some defense. You got to play some defense. And they seen how. Look at the teams who have, you can be able to put the ball in the basket, but if you can't stop nobody, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
So, but also, I also will look at, to me, Minnesota. When we talked about this, I think last week, either it's coaching or Karl Anthony Towns is just turning down them. There's no way you're telling me every time, almost 85% of the time you're running sets, he's up top of the key the whole time. He's never posting up. It's few teams in the league that can say they got a matchup problem for him So where okay, he's up there, but he's down low, but that's a problem for him. He's not gonna win that battle. How many teams can we say that where that's the issue? And the problem is that Dallas was one of those issues, especially when you didn't have you didn't have Lively for one game. Lively and Gafford not that big in size, and you never really posted them up and let them go to work. You kept them up the 3-point line and ran your offense that way. So I think moving forward for me, how do you make Big Cat go down low more? And if you can't trade him, I'm sorry, if you feel like you can't do it or you scared to run your offense or tell him like, yo, you gotta go down low more, either trade him or fire the coach. I'm sorry. Like at the end of the day, I understand they make millions, but if this is truly about winning, because you have a star, a superstar in Anthony Edwards. You done reached this point now. Once you reach this point now, it ain't no more going back. It ain't no more like, oh, we'll settle for this. No, you're trying to move forward. So if you're going to move forward, you're not moving forward with Big Cat shooting those 6-7 threes a game. That's not going to work. That's not what you need. Not in the West or the East.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. My thing is, I to be honest, I think age had a factor to do with this. I think when you get to a certain level in NFL or NBA, age matters because age comes with experience. Now, that's not with everything, but in sports, most times if it's a young player, they're gonna struggle in the playoffs. It's happened 1,000 times. There's nothing wrong with it. They just struggled. Ant admitted himself he was out of steam. He was out. He was like, yo, I'm tired. I'm physically tired. He has to up his regimen, off-season workouts, so he can have the endurance. Because the playoffs are a different level. The intensity's up. The game. So because it's 7 games, teams are going to scheme for you. So the adjustments are happening very fast. Very fast. And you got to be able to keep up with it. Also, I don't know what's up with Cat, man. Karl Anthony Towns. A lot of standing around, a lot of not moving. And listen, Gobert, he's a good defensive player. It is what it is. I know Luka barbecued him, but that's Luka. He's one of the best players in the NBA, and he had him on the perimeter. I mean, there's not. I mean, what do you want Gobert to do? I don't think. To be honest, I don't know who would have. I don't know if anybody was checking Luka if he doesn't make that same shot. So that's what I think the factors that played in it, plus all that you said. Now, I'm going to start off with this one. And the question is, what 2 things? I've been asking this all playoffs. I think I'm going to keep it going to something new. But what 2 things can the Timberwolves do to get better next year? And my 2 things are, after I say it, I'm going to pass it to you, Mo. My 2 things are they need what the NBA loves right now, but they need more outside shooting. Because Jaden Daniels and Anthony Edwards, like, you're not getting no offensive output from Rudy Gobert barely. Mike Conley's nice, but he's been in the league 17 years. And Karl Anthony Towns is playing crazy. But they need shooting. They need shooting. And they need perimeter defense. Because Luka and Kyrie were eating them up on the perimeter. And this is going to, like, I just think they need a 3-and-D player. Somebody who could shoot the 3. And then you can't contain Luka or Kyrie, but there's ways that you can, try to make them work for their points. So those are my 2 things. Mo, what are your 2 things that you think the Timberwolves could do to get better?
I agree. I'll go with you with the the perimeter shooting, the extra person outside of Anthony Edwards that can get his own shot, that can create on his own and kind of get that own shot outside of just standing in the corner or something like that. But my second thing is you got to make a decision. If you're not going to make the adjustments coaching wise, and if he's not going to listen for Anthony Edwards going out low, I say trade him. I'm sorry. I know some people disagree with that, but the way you're playing, if you're trying to win a championship, if you're just cool, my thing is this.
You would trade. So you said trade in Carl Cat.
Hold on. Let me. I'm not saying that. I'm gonna say this though. If you're not going to make the adjustment, if you're not going to make the coaching adjustment, if he's not cool with playing down low more and combining it and like mixing it up, but if you're going to continue to play the way he's playing right now, either you're going to trade him or you're just going to keep being a status quo. You're going to keep losing because we just talked about it. Him shooting 6 threes a game is not going to win you an NBA championship. They're not winning an NBA championship with him shooting 6 threes a game. They're not even going to the finals with that because the West is still getting better. Because what we don't realize is the Pelicans are going to get better because let's hope that Zion stays healthy. I'll even go further. I think the Kings are going to get better. Denver's not going nowhere. Let's see what the Lakers are going to do. The West is not going nowhere. So him shooting 6 threes is not going to cut it in the West. It's not going to cut it anywhere. So if they don't make them adjustments, I can see them even sliding next year. I can see them not even making the West Finals next year with how the West going to improve. So if they're not going to make the adjustments, or if he's ignoring the adjustments, you got to make a move because either that or you want to sit there and you're going to be that bust next year, and then guess what? And the Evans going to be the next star that sit there with a Kyrie move or a young Kyrie move or a young whatever move. Get me out of here because it's not working.
Craig, what are 2 things you think the Timberwolves could do to be better? That's contagious.
I agree with Mo with the Karl Anthony Towns. I think if you look at his numbers,
So you would trade him too?
You got to look at all your options.
Woo! Y'all are fired, boy.
In this series, he was not as efficient or as effective in terms of shooting the ball. In the 3 losses, he shot 30%, 20, and this is just from the field, 30%, 25%, 28%, and 45%. And the 45% was game 5 when they were getting blown out. And I mean, basically he was a non-factor. So he shot a combined in the game that they won, he shot 70%. So if they get that Karl Anthony Towns, then all right, cool. He shot 38% from the field in that series. From 3, he shot 2 for 9, 1 for 5, 0 for 8, 1 for 6 in the 4 losses, and 4 for 5 in the win.
It's not looking good, Cat.
24%. He just has to get. He only averaged 8 rebounds a game for a guy that's 7 foot tall.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So and he averaged less than 20 points a game, which is all right, whatever. But to be your second best player, they need to have either Karl Anthony Towns needs to make a better. They need to figure out what they want to do with Karl Anthony Towns in terms of him. Either if he's staying with the team, they got to get him either on the block or do something else where it's pick and rolls or whatever the case may be. But he's not taking as many threes as he's taking. 9 threes for a guy that's 7 foot tall. All right, cool. You want to take that in the regular season? Whatever. It is what it is. It's a regular season. But in the playoffs, I think you have to capitalize on some of your strong points, which was Karl Anthony Towns in the box. I think Gafford is really good defensively. Washington is really good defensively as well. Gafford more so than Washington. Yeah. I think Karl Anthony Towns in the post can take both of those guys. I think he'll have a harder time with Gafford, but I think he can give him some work down there. I don't know what's on the 3, or at least pick and pop with some elbow shot, whatever.
Yeah.
They need to figure that out, and I think they need to get another scorer. Somebody on the wing, maybe at the small forward spot, maybe even at the point guard spot. No
like a Buddy Hill,
he's a veteran
like that.
Somebody that can just create their own shot.
Just shoot.
It ain't really got to be like a spot up shooter, like a Buddy Hill kind of sort of.
Okay.
It can be somebody. I ain't gonna say I'm saying Paul George, but I'm not saying he's going to go there. But I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
a guy
but you're saying that tight, that tight.
Yeah,
I got
he
you.
can create his own
what
shot.
you're
So
saying.
if Anthony Edwards is hurt, or not hurt, but if he's tired or if he's winded or he's in foul trouble or he goes to the bench, you can get another guy that can come in there, create his own shot, run the offense effectively. There's no real drop off, and when they're both on the court, they just work as a cohesive unit. But that whole Karl-Anthony Towns thing, he's 28 years old, by the way, and his contract situation, it could get a little bit messy in the next couple of years, especially when you got to sign Anthony Edwards to a long-term deal.
What about like Malik Beasley? He might be like, wasn't he like 6th man of the year? Something like that?
Nas was 6th man of the year this past year, which is on the Timberwolves.
No, but he was in a running, right? Was Malik?
Possibly.
I think he was. Yeah, but I think he would be somebody like he can create his own shot. I definitely see what you're saying.
I mean, he struggled. Struggled for points. I should say, in the Nuggets series. He shot a better percentage in that series, which is surprisingly. But I mean, he scored only 18 points a game, 18 and a half. He never averaged more than 20 points. Never averaged more than 19.6 points a game in any of these series that he played. So they have to get something out of him. DeMar
DeRozan, that might be like somebody like that. Who, DeMar? I didn't know.
Karl-Anthony Towns never scored more than.
Oh, yeah. If you trade Karl-Anthony Towns, or if you bring, Karl-Anthony Towns is crazy.
They need to figure out what he wants to do, what he wants to get better at, what he wants to work on, or something. Because
y'all know I just looked up this stat. Y'all know that Jason Tatum averages 10.4 rebounds in the playoffs. That's crazy. He averaged more rebounds than Karl-Anthony Towns. That's a little wild. That's crazy.
He also had no blocks in that series. 0.
That's wild.
Not in one
I didn't realize that him and Brown were both the number 3 picks in the draft. In their respective drafts, Brown and Tatum was number 3 picks.
Yes, they were. Everybody been talking about this.
And everybody talking about, because I think in Brown draft, I want to say in Brown draft it was
I can tell you because everybody talking about it.
No, it was Ben Simmons.
It was Ben Simmons and Ingram, and then
in Tatum's draft it was Folks and it was Ball.
Folks and Ball. I remember that, yes, because I'm a Lakers fan, so we had back-to-back second round pick. They said everybody, the first 3 teams had the first 3 picks. That's what you're saying, right, Mo? Philly had the first pick.
No, they were saying how Boston is crazy.
But they were. I was reading somewhere all 3 teams had the same picks. I think Philly had first, Lakers had second, and Celtics had third. Back-to-back years, Craig. It was crazy. Yeah, because they picked, like Mo said, they picked Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram, then Tatum Brown. The next year, it was Marquise Fultz, Brandon Ingram, and Jason Tatum. Isn't that something, man?
Oh, it was Ball.
LeVar Ball. I'm sorry. That's it. What did I say? I didn't say Ball. Oh, Brandon Ingram. Yes. Brandon Ingram was one year was Ball. The other, yes. You're right. Yeah, it was Ball. Hopefully he gets healthy and plays. I hope he does. All right. Now, everybody to the main event. In this corner, we have the Mavericks. They're hot. They're coming in with Luka Legend. They're coming in with Kyrie, the most explosive, creative ball handler ever. Then on the other side, you have Celtics lore trying to hold up the tradition and history. You have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Craig, we're doing Who You Got, and we're breaking down the front court and the back court of who has the advantage. Craig, who has the advantage in the series, in the final series, the Mavericks versus the Celtics? Who has the advantage in the front court?
The front court?
Pretty easy. Yeah. Yeah, front court, back court, right? Did I do it wrong? Yeah. Front court, yes.
The
Make sure
front
I
court is
listed it correctly.
the front court is the Celtics. I mean,
Yep. Yeah.
um, now I gotta let me check to see because I'm not sure who plays what in terms of
I
their
can break it
spot.
down. I got you. I can tell you. Give me 2 seconds. You talking about Boston,
Okay,
right? I can tell
okay,
you.
so it
You
is
got it?
okay. I didn't know if Brown played small forward or shooting guard. So
Yeah.
If Brown, well, definitely Brown and Tatum already canceled everything out for whatever Dallas has going on.
Yeah.
Porzingis will be a plus if he starts, if he plays or whatever it is, and he's
Yeah,
in
they said
he's
he's
in
playing. I don't
cool.
know if he starts, but they said he's
Then
playing.
they got Horford. Horford is so I mean, but even still, Brown and Tatum is just they're just a better combination in the front court.
Yeah.
Now I do like what Dallas because Dallas's team is starting to play. I mean, they're playing a lot better. So their front court is okay. It's not bad. I think Washington coming over in the trade was really good for them. Gafford definitely defensively. I think it's Derek Jones or Kleber, but I think it's Jones. Derek Jones, if he's hitting his shots, cool. But I mean, it just is no comparison or there's no competition for the front courts when you have Tatum and Brown on one side, regardless of who's at center, and on the other side you have some decent defenders, especially with Gafford, and then just some other guys as well. But yeah, I'm taking Boston.
Yes, Kleber is in the front court. Yes.
He starts, or does Derek Jones start?
No, it is. So Derek Jones starts at the small forward, and then PJ Washington. So yeah, so Derek Jones does start. And Max Kleber's off the.
Yeah, this is not a debate for me.
Nah, it's not. Mo, who has the advantage in the front court? Dallas or the Celtics?
I'm gonna say I'm for Craig's same point. I'm going to say Boston only really because of the with Tatum and Brown. You got to switch them off at the three spot. I want to see Porzingis out there. If Porzingis out there, I feel more comfortable, more like it'd be less of a. For me, I would fully say Boston if I seen Porzingis out there. I would say this though. Luka and Kyrie gonna do their thing, right? Luka and Kyrie gonna do their thing.
Yeah.
I will say this though. In order for, I don't care what Luka and Kyrie does.
Okay.
In order for Mavericks to win this series, PJ Washington, Gafford, and Likely have to play big. In order for them to have a chance in this series. Because
wait, we're not there yet. Not there yet. We just talking about the front court.
We're talking about the front court now.
Okay.
Because we're talking about the front court, those three have to play big. But if you're going to ask me who you got, I'm going to say Boston. But I feel like in the whole series, I feel like them three have to play big. They played well during this playoffs. But I feel like they got to keep it going and play at another level overall. But we'll get there in a minute. But I'm going to go Boston.
Yeah, so yes, Porzingis will be playing in game 1. I don't know how many minutes he's playing. But they said he's gonna be playing game 1. I don't know if I don't know how much he's playing. But anyway, in the front court, I'm giving it to Boston. Even without Porzingis, I can add Porzingis in there. But, I mean, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are just phenomenal. You got Tatum, who's probably, the fourth? I mean, he's in the top. I mean, you could put him 5, right? 6? He's a top 10 NBA player, I think. Jason Tatum, right? Some people have him behind Giannis, Joker, and Luka. I mean, Tatum is a beast. I love Tatum. So I think Tatum, and I love Jaylen Brown. I don't think Jaylen Brown gets that much respect. So we're gonna see how this series is. We're gonna get into that later. We can break that down. But in the front court, of course, I have Boston. Very interesting, Craig. Back to you, the backcourt.
Oh, this is not close either. This is Dallas.
It's crazy, right?
Luka's the best player in this series.
Yes.
You can make the case that Kyrie could be number 2 if he plays like he has played in the past. He has the most experience out of anybody in these playoffs, so he's definitely going to bring that. I want to see it doesn't really matter, but I kind of want to see how the crowd reacts to Kyrie being a former Celtic and him not having the best tenure there when he was there. So that's going to be, I guess, like a sub storyline, I guess, behind the whole Celtics winning the championship and behind the 2 stars on one side versus 2 stars on the other side. But I like Drew Holiday. He's a great defender.
Yeah.
Derek White has made some big shots. But this is not even close. This is one of the best backcourts in NBA history. I never said they were one, but I think they're up there. Especially they win the championship, then you can make that argument that they are the best. Some people are even saying Luka's the best player in the NBA at this point. So
a lot of people are. But
yeah, this is not even a debate unless somebody's hurt on that team, which every series for the Celtics, a star player.
Yes.
So, I mean,
it's gonna be hard with this one.
Out there. Hopefully, nobody gets hurt because I want to see a healthy series for both teams. But
I do too. Heck yeah.
The way it's been going for this, I guess, is the luck of the Irish. I guess so.
I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I hope it doesn't.
Yeah,
I want to see like full health basketball. Mo, backcourt. Who is the advantage?
Definitely Dallas. And the thing is, what adjustments do Boston make? Because you don't want Brown or Tatum getting in foul trouble, putting them on Luka. They get in foul trouble, you definitely have it. Then you're not gonna be able to put Holiday on them for a full game. I love Holiday to death, but Holiday don't want Luka for no full game. So you're going to mix it up and be smart on how you're going to check Luka. And so when you're doing that though, and you're switching off, how do you check now Kyrie? So I think Kyrie being able to shoot well is going to be interesting, but I'm definitely going them. It's just they're on another level. But I would speak more to their defensive attribute now than their offense. We knew they could score. We knew both could put the ball in the tent.
Yeah.
But how both have locked in defensively, and I'll go to this again. I think Kidd has talked to him, but I think also they've looked at it and said, and had that man talk to themselves in the mirror, like, our legacy on the line. Like, our legacy on the line. If you're going to talk to me about greatness, yeah, that's cool. We done, we did. You make your money, but now our greatness is on the line. Like, what do we want? What legacy is on the line at?
Yeah.
Like, where's our legacy at with this? So I think they fed into it, and I think Kidd told them, hey, look it, yeah, it's all well and good, but do y'all want to be another, you guys want to be another duo or another people that, you put up high numbers, but you don't win nothing?
Yeah. Shout out to Michael Finley for taking the beer away from Luka. That joint was crazy. The look on Luka's face, he was just like,
hey man, listen, I knew.
And Finley did it so smooth too. He did it so smooth. He was just like,
when Luka was talking trash to Snoop, I was like, oh, this dude. I knew he was different. But I was like,
Luka talks trash to everybody.
Yeah,
He been doing that.
When Luka went at Snoop, I was like, oh Lord have mercy.
Yeah, Luka been doing that.
No.
Luka
I'm not discrediting that, but I was saying that series and that game.
Oh yeah, he going at whoever. He going at fans. He going at fans. He's going at players. He does his signature. You know his signature where he there on the free throw line. He looks at him like this.
That's Lord.
That's what. Yo, he just be sitting there like, yeah. Like, yo, Luca is vicious. Best backcourt is definitely the Mavericks. I agree with you both. Very easy for me. Very simple, and it's Luca and Kyrie and Craig. I hope everybody's healthy because I want to see like a lot of. It's going to be a lot of good, great basketball if they're both healthy. And I can't wait to see it. And it's going to be awesome. Even though the games are going to be on late, it'll be all good. Okay. Now we get into the meat and potatoes. And these are two separate questions. And then I'm going to ask y'all who you have winning and why. But this is something new I've been trying out and I've been thinking about. I was like, hey, what it would look like? What would each team need to do to win? And then we could pick who our finals picks are and why. And then we're going to get into Craig's top 5, which is going to be interesting because I don't know what it is this week. And it's always a surprise and good. So, Mo, what do the Mavericks need to do to win?
I think continue to be what you've been defensively, continue what they've been and how hard they're going defensively. And I know, I was talking about it earlier and, you said, I truly believe PJ Watson, Gafford, and Likely are going to play well. And it's not all about what shows up in the stat sheet. It's about the little things. Like, I think those three have to play well in order for them to have a chance because we know what Luka and them going to do. But when you got Horford and Porzingis out there, I truly think it's going to matter what those three do. I think they're going to make a true difference in the series. But they're not going to get Finals MVP or none of that stuff. But it matters what they do in the series.
Yeah, I totally agree. Craig, we know you picked. I got you, but I'm definitely wanting to hear your answer. What do the Mavericks have to do to beat Boston?
I think it starts with Kyrie and Luka, first of all. Those two guys come out, especially if Luka plays like he did in Game 5 in that first quarter. He outscored Dallas by himself in that first quarter. So the team just fed off of that. And that when your superstars are playing great, especially on the road, then it just makes your role players play better and makes them feel more at ease and they can just relax and just play basketball as well. So I think it starts with those two guys. Number two, I got 3-point shooting and 3-point defense. Their 3-point shooting
that's a good one.
Their defense in that series against Minnesota was really good.
Yes.
Did have some guys have open shots and Minnesota just kind of wet the bed, I guess you could say, because they missed a lot of wide open shots. But their defense contesting some of those shots as well and making those guys frustrated was key to that series. And then on the opposite side, them shooting threes well. Now, I will say that Luka, when he shoots 45%, he's only shot either 45% or higher.
It's wild.
And lower for the whole playoffs. In between 37 and 45. So when he shoots 37% and under, the team is 6-5. When he shoots 45% and higher, the team is 6-0. So if he shoots 45% and higher, I mean you're pretty much going to say that they're going to win that game. Versus the opposite way, then I mean they could go either way. So they have to get that together. I also think they need to attack Porzingis, whether that be in pick and rolls or that just be going at him in the post, somebody going at him in the post or something like that, and just seeing how healthy he is, seeing how healthy that calf is, seeing how he moves. It's just another key for me. And then number 4, my last one is they have more size. I think they can utilize that size against Boston because outside of Porzingis, they're kind of small, especially with Horford playing center or whatever it is. Now, Horford can kind of stretch the floor a little bit because he can shoot threes. And so can Porzingis. But I think that the size, especially inside, getting rebounds and just being an extra body that they just have to go up against is going to be tough, or it could be tough for Boston. So those are my keys for Dallas.
Yeah, I like that. I like both y'all answers, man. I actually I've been following this guy Hoops Tonight. Shout out to Jason Temp, and he broke it down, and he kind of assisted me. I was kind of leaning one way, and then it kind of just harped on it. Um, but Dallas, what they need to do to win this series is agree with you both is they have to be in the pick and roll. They have to be in the pick and roll, and they have to utilize that a lot. Luka has to play outstanding. So does Kyrie. There can't be no game. They can't. I mean, they can have an off game or two, but they're gonna have to bring it more than Minnesota because Boston is just configured differently. I'm gonna break it down what Boston needs to do because the thing with why they beat Minnesota, Minnesota was standing around a lot because they don't have active shooters. Boston's going to be moving a lot. They're going to be causing Luka and Kyrie to work, and that's going to be the difference. If it's going to be the difference in switching. If Luka's nobody's going to stop Luka. There's just but if Luka gets switched on Tatum or Brown, they're big enough to cause some disruptive issues with Luka. Everybody's talking about Drew Holiday. Listen, he got away with anything he wanted to with Drew Holiday because what he does in the pick and roll is as soon as Luka catches it, if Luka is able to get ahead of you, you're short because then he can control it. And Luka's going to post up. He posts up a lot. So that's going to be the difference. The difference is going to be literally the backcourt. And how what's going to be the defense assignment. And it's probably going to be Derek White and Drew Holiday probably on Luka. I mean, not Luka, but probably on Kyrie mostly. I mean, basketball is about switching and matchups. So Dallas is going to be trying to get Boston, out of a defensive set. A lot of pick and rolls, and Dallas needs their front court. Derek Jones is going to have his hands full. He is a great perimeter defender, but he's going to have his hands full with Tatum and Brown a lot. But I think that's what Dallas has to do to win is they're going to have to, like Craig said, the pick and roll is very important. And the 3-point shooting and being consistent with that. Like, they can't, with Boston, which is so good, you can't really have those up and downs like Luka. They're going to get you out of there. Because Luka can have a good game and then Boston outshoots him. All right, Craig, what are the keys? Well, not the keys. What do the Celtics have to do to win, Craig?
Well, just like it starts with Luka and Kyrie, I'm going to pretty much say the same thing for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They play well. The team is I'm not saying they struggled at home, but they've lost 2 games at home. They're undefeated on the road. But when Tatum and Brown play well, their role players tend to play well as well, or tend to play well also. So I think it's just like it starts with Kyrie and Luka. It starts with Tatum and Brown. Their pick and roll defense has to be a lot better than what Minnesota's pick and roll defense was, especially when you switch out and then you end up with Rudy Gobert on Luka Doncic. So that can't happen. So if they switch and then get in a pick and roll situation, they end up with Porzingis.
Yeah.
On Luka. I mean, that's pretty much over. Or Horford on Luka. So
yeah,
maybe they try to just not switch. Maybe they try to hedge a little bit. Maybe they try to do some things that doesn't allow them to get put into those situations where there's a center or a slower defender on a guy like Kyrie or a guy like Luka. Number 3 is the health of Porzingis. He said he didn't commit to say he was 100%, but so I'm going to assume he's around 80 to 90% possibly.
Yeah, I think at
best at this point. which is,
Mhm.
I mean, that's better than nothing.
Good. Yeah.
When you're going up against a team like this that can attack you, especially Kyrie can get to the basket and he's one of the best finishers in the NBA history. And you got Luka who could just hit crazy 3-pointers like it's nobody's business. And then get some other role players on the team as well that can hit some shots as well. The health of Porzingis is going to be key because that's just another person that they haven't had since the first round. And if he can play like he was playing, possibly, I'm gonna say during the regular season, they get that Porzingis, and cool. I think that's going to push them, put them over the edge for a lot of people in terms of picking the team or not. But if not, I mean, he could be a liability out there, especially on the defensive end if he's not able to move and play like he has been. And my last point is the Celtics but a lot of times they seem to just get they get lackadaisical, I guess is the word, or they just get they get really complacent and then just take the foot off the gas and they just allow teams to stick around like that. Pacers series, the Pacers should have blew that team out, especially without Haliburton. They couldn't blow them out. They were in pretty much every game.
They should have. They should have.
They let them stick around. They let them hang around. It was a sweep, but it was just like, why are these games so close? Especially when their best players out, and even when Haliburton was in, they should have blown them out because they were a better team. But I mean, they could have lost 3 of those games, and this whole finals thing could have been a lot different, or could be looking at the Celtics a lot differently. But they handled their business. But I mean, they can't do that against this team that has 2 future Hall of Famers on it, and just think they're just going to go out there because they're the Celtics and they have 17 championships. They can just beat this team just based off their name, and that's not going to be the case. They're going to get a rude awakening if they come out and play like that, or if they come play like that down the stretch. So those would be my keys for Boston.
I love it, and I can't wait to. You said, man, you hit on some key things, Craig. Mo, Celtics. What does Celtics have to do to win, man? Oh, snap, Mo. Yeah. You good?
From the field, with him being aggressive. I think if he's aggressive, depending on what matchups or how Dallas defends them, if you get PJ Washington in foul trouble early because he's aggressive, I think that causes problems for them, for Dallas. So I would say him, and also Brown being efficient but also being aggressive early, attacking the rim and force Dallas to defend a certain way. I would also say Boston shooting. We've seen where in series where they lost some game 2s and lost some games to where their shooting at the 3-point line wasn't the best. So I think when they were firing on all the cylinders, they're moving the ball, they're shooting the 3-ball well. Another thing is, another key to the game is, I would say, if Porzingis is healthy and he stretches the floor, that also causes a problem because now, depending on what lineup Dallas puts out there, now you're potentially either you're going to run zone, or if you run man, you're putting PJ Washington on it because they don't play Lively and Gafford together like that. They normally split their minutes. Normally, one will play like 25 minutes, one will play like 23 minutes. So now you're asking PJ Washington to come out there on Porzingis. So I think, like Craig said, Porzingis being out there, and even him at 90% is going to be a threat to the team because either you're going to run zone and let him shoot, or you're going to run man and now put PJ Washington out there on Porzingis, which is a clear mismatch. My last thing would be is like we say, Boston. I think the last thing would be Boston got to be hungry. You got to see it, and I would almost. I know Boston was not in the finals last year, but they almost got to come out with an attitude like how LeBron, not just LeBron, but how I would compare it to almost how Miami had when they lost to Dallas. When they lost to Dallas and they made the finals the very next year. Like at the end of the day, 2 years ago, you lost. You got to come out with that energy like we refuse to lose. Like our legacy on the line. We got to win this. I think they got to have that mindset from the rip that our legacy is on the line because We made it to the finals. We've been here before. Now we got to close the deal.
Okay. I agree with both of you. And yes. So, okay. Here. Okay. Yes. So I do agree with both of you. And Mo should be back shortly. So here's the thing, Craig. I'm not gonna lie. Boston. First of all, this series depends on Tatum. Tatum cannot have a bad shooting series like last time he did in the finals. They're not gonna win. He has to play good. He has to play like Jason Tatum. He has to. Second thing is, Celtics are very deep. And for them to win, they're going to attack. They got to attack Luka constantly. Constantly. So this is how Boston does. Once again, hoops tonight. This is not, I had to do some research. Shout out Jason Timp. But he broke it down where Derek White and Porzingis and Tatum and Brown, they're going to constantly attack Luka. They're gonna go at him. They're gonna make him work both ends of the floor. So because like with Minnesota, Luka didn't have that because they didn't have a lot of shooters. Boston has shooters, so Boston's gonna attack Luka and then constantly pick and roll and switch. So they're gonna be constantly switching. So when Boston is constantly switching and they're attacking Luka, those let out passes to Derek Lively or Porzingis are going to be big. If Boston can shoot, and that's the problem, and they're going to attack. If Jaylen Brown has Kyrie on him, he's going to go to the post. So for Boston, if they're switching constantly and being like, hey, because if they switch, if you ended up putting Kyrie on Jaylen Brown because of the switch or Tatum, it's a wrap. Now, Daniel Gafford can play Jason Tatum good, but here's the thing about Tatum. Tatum has to attack the basket and stop settling for these outside shots. I think he settles sometimes for too many threes, and he should just drive and attack. But I think that's it. And I think Porzingis, I agree with both of you. Porzingis is huge because if Porzingis plays and it's 90%, that outside shot that he has is vicious because he can shoot the three. He's not like Gobert, right? He's long. He's going to shoot that three, and he's going to shoot it. And here's another thing of switching. If Porzingis gets on a smaller player, he's not going to do it like Karl Anthony Towns. He's not going to shoot the jumper. He's going to post and draw the foul or shoot a high percentage shot, which Karl Anthony Towns should be doing. But he doesn't. And Porzingis does do that. And I think that's also going to be a difference in this series because of the switching, right? Because if Porzingis is able to go down low more, that's going to cause some matchup issues and matchup problems. So I think that's what Boston has to do to win. This is going to be interesting. So, Mo, after all of this, who you got in the finals? How many games?
At the beginning of this, when we first started, man, I said Boston. I'm gonna stay with it. My West team is not what I thought it was going to be, but that's cool. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think I went Boston in the beginning of this, so I'm gonna stay status quo with who I had. I'm gonna go Boston in a classic.
I think you went Boston and Denver. I think. But
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Boston. I'm gonna go Boston 7 in the classic.
woo, Boston 7 in the classic.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Craig, we know who you got, but everybody don't know who you got. I know who you got. Mo know who you got, but we gotta know who you got and how many games and why.
I picked Boston from the beginning, so I'm sticking with Boston. I think this is going to be a tough series, though.
Ooh, okay.
Dallas is not a push, so I wouldn't be surprised. Dallas is here for a reason.
Yeah.
They upset 3 teams. I mean, they didn't have home court advantage in either one of those, in none of the series so far.
Mm.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they come in here and they win this game, especially with
Wow.
Boston losing game 2 in the first 2 series, and then they almost lost game 1 in the last series against Indiana. So they've given some games away or had opportunities to give games away, and all Dallas needs is to steal one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Boston is undefeated on the road in the playoffs, so they feel comfortable playing away from Boston. So they're not fazed by that either.
Crazy.
I think some team, whoever's third star emerges, I think is going to give them a big advantage. Whether that's Porzingis if he's healthy enough, or Drew Holiday, or Derek White, or on the other side if it's PJ Washington, who should be the guy, or Derek Jones, or Gafford, or somebody like that making some plays. It doesn't even have to be offensively; it could be defensively. So they need the third star to emerge, and then seen it in the series against Indiana, and for Boston, and then in the series against Minnesota for Dallas. The teams, I mean, they had great fourth quarters. They pretty much outscored their opponent in the fourth quarter for majority of that series, at least in total. So I think whoever can have the best fourth quarter is going to have definitely an opportunity to win this series. Like I said, I'm sticking with Boston. I'm going 7 games, just like Mo said.
Woo!
I don't know if it's a classic, but I do expect Boston to win this series. They're 17-5, I think, overall in NBA Finals games or NBA Finals series. So they had that going for them. They did lose the last one that they were in. Like you said Tatum played horrible in that series. He shot bad. Tatum's pretty much shot bad a lot of this series.
Yes.
So, or a lot of the playoffs in general this season. So he's going to have to correct that. And I'm just hoping that we get a better Jason Tatum. I'm picking him to win the Finals MVP, and I'm picking like I said to win this series. So I got Boston.
Yeah. So this took me some time because my pick is gone. It was Denver to go back to back. That didn't happen. This is gonna be an interesting series, but I'm going Boston. I think Tatum he's been quiet. I think he knows it's on him. It is. If he plays well, if he plays well, man. I mean, if he plays well and matches Luka, they're gonna win. Like he has to play. He has to play well. He has to, man. Because he can't go into the finals playing like he did against Golden State. This is his second finals. It's him and Jaylen Brown. It's they need to make a statement, and I think they will. And another thing too with PJ Washington, he can't just stand in the corner of the series. He's gonna have to move because, like, to be honest, guys, Boston they have so much shooting and people scoring in double figures. Drew Holiday, Derek White, Tatum and Brown, and Porzingis. That's 5 starters that's in double figures. They have a better rotation. Everybody is picking Dallas. I know. Everybody in the media is picking Dallas. From what I've seen, I don't know. Have y'all seen the same thing? Am I tripping? But like everybody's picking Dallas.
I see a lot of people pick. At least the website I just went to had a lot of people picking Boston.
Okay,
But
because I know on first things first, Nick is taking Dallas, Chris is taking Dallas, Ocho Cinco is taking Dallas. I haven't watched Gilbert Arenas. I don't know where they stand at. I don't know where Colin is, but Colin I think is on Boston. Jason 10 Hoops tonight's pick Boston, but it's just Dallas is getting a lot of love because they're saying Luka is the best player, and I get it, he is. I mean, he's not the best player, but he's good. He's one of the best players in the NBA. But I think it's going to be. I think Boston's going to pull it out in the games. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 6. It could go 7, but I think Boston closes it out in 6. I know PJ Washington had a good run and Daniel Gafford, but if Porzingis scores 17 a game, Boston's easily going to win the series. They are. They're a really good team. Now, people saying they're historic. I get it, but they need to win a championship, and I think they will. I think they will, man.
they got to figure it out because I know Boston's gonna shoot a lot of threes. That's what they do.
They're gonna shoot a ton of threes.
Attempts a game. So that's another thing for me is that it comes down to the threes, whether if Boston is making them, or even if Dallas is making them, and if the team is not, then that could be a huge X factor or a huge difference in the game or in the series.
Yeah, and like think about it. If Boston is, let's say this. Let's say Boston wins game 1, Dallas wins game 2, or Dallas wins game 1, Boston wins game 2. Say in game 3, Craig, Dallas and Boston are hot from 3. That's the thing that could happen. If Boston and the Mavs are hot from 3, I gotta give it to Boston because I think they have more shooters. I think so. But you're right. It's gonna be 3 centric. It's gonna be 3.
Yeah, they do.
Boston yeah, they got shooters, man. I was like, golly, and they could sign everybody and bring everybody back. Now Boston could win back to back, especially if they bring. I mean, they are bringing everybody back. They've already signed Derek White. They signed Drew Holiday. They signed Brown. They're gonna sign Tatum. I don't know about Porzingis. I don't think is Porzingis. Did they didn't sign him, right?
I don't know if he signed yet. I'm not sure though.
I don't think he signed. No, I don't think he signed. I don't know. No, he did. He signed a 2-year, 60 guaranteed. Yep. So So everybody will be back next year and paid. They trying to make a run, and I would do the same thing, especially with the NBA like this now. Because if Boston wins it this year, I mean it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to beat them next year, especially with this experience and this confidence they'll be going into next year. And I'm a Lakers fan. I know people are like, oh, the rivalry. Yeah, I don't like Boston, but like y'all know me. I'm pretty fair when it comes to. Doesn't matter if they're my rival or not. I just look at the sports totality. And it doesn't matter if the team, I don't care if it's Dallas Cowboys, if they're good, they're good. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem. Some Lakers fans are like, I'll never pick Boston to win the series. I'm not like that. I'm not. Like, just, it's sports. I get it. I understand it. It's a passion, but it's like, it's that's just me. All right.
Oh,
Craig. Oh, what's up? Go ahead.
Man, since you just brought up.
Okay, let's go.
Since you brought up, I want to get your I guess thoughts since you're a Lakers fan.
Mm-hmm. Man.
I heard he's the favorite or a possible favorite to be the coach.
He is. He is. A very interesting. I looked at his coaching staff today. Rumored He would hire Sam Cassell, James Borrega, Jared Dudley, Rondo, and somebody else. So another coach from I think like Minnesota, but I think it matters about the team he puts around him. And I know people are like, "Oh, he's gonna be like Steve Nash," but what if he's like Kerr, or what if he's like Isaiah? Isaiah Thomas was a decent coach too. Larry Bird was. People forgot about that. Larry Bird did coach I believe he coached the Pacers in the finals against the Lakers. I think he did.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think he did. Yeah. He was right. I'm not calling JJ Redick a Hall of Famer, but I'm just saying like it's but like basketball and football are a little bit different when it comes to coaching. But my thoughts, Craig, that's a good one, man. I'm in the air now. It's happening, right? They're talking about he's the next Pat Riley and. They're going to sign him to a long-term deal, 5. I'm not going as far as Pat Riley. I'm not going to lie. I listened to his channel. He knows basketball a lot. I think he's going to do good. I don't know if it's a championship. Oh, going to win the championship. I don't know. I don't know. We're probably far off from that, but for him to be I think he'll be a good coach. I do. Because I don't know. That's who they're going with. Who would I rather hire? I would rather hire Sam Cassell. That's just me. I like Sam Cassell. He's been coaching for a minute, been around. But JJ's going to have a strong coaching staff with a lot of experience. So some Lakers fans hate it. I'm not that. I think I give him a shot. And we'll see. So, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, we gotta see. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll do good.
I mean, to me, this has LeBron James hire written all over it. I think he's the one who orchestrated this with their podcasts and their friendship outside of the NBA, I guess. I think personally, I would have rather seen, even though it's not really there's only one other vacancy out there. Well, there were 3 as of last week, and then the Wizards got their coach. They hired an interim
Wizards
coach.
got their coach.
Cavaliers still have theirs. Well, it was 4 because the Suns. The Cavaliers have their guy. Our Cavaliers need a coach.
But the Suns, right?
The whole issue. The Suns still got to figure out that whole issue with the backcourt with Mitchell and.
That joint is crazy.
And then the Lakers.
That backcourt crazy.
So now you have to know when you go to the Lakers, you're probably going to get LeBron James for maybe 2-3 years, probably max.
Maybe 2.
And then you're looking at who knows what's going to happen with the whole rest of the roster. I just thought JJ probably would have been better off going to a younger team, trying to rebuild, because it's his first year coaching the Lakers. He going to the Lakers is a lot of pressure.
You think he'd be good like Cleveland, somewhere like that, where it's like a good young,
possibly Cleveland, but maybe like they don't have a vacancy, but a team like maybe like Utah,
Orlando,
maybe not Orlando because they went to the playoffs. They have kind of aspirations, but maybe like a team like same with Cleveland, I guess maybe, but like a team like Toronto. There's no pressure on them. There's they're not going to the playoffs. You can try to rebuild that team and try to figure some things out with that squad. Versus the Lakers, you have it's already pressure on it, regardless who's going to be the coach. And then you throw the first time head coach. I guess Darvin Ham was kind of the same way. He was the first time head coach, right? So
yeah, but he was coaching for a minute though.
I mean, yeah,
he was coaching for a minute. There's assistant
coaching. This JJ has no experience in coaching.
Nope.
What I know, and maybe
none.
He might coach the Suns basketball team or something.
That doesn't count.
But, right, that's what I mean. Like, so other than that, that's the only type of coaching experience I think he's had. So
Yeah.
this is a whole different level. I'm just it's a wait and see approach. Like I said, I probably would have went after somebody else with more experience. But I don't know, man, because I don't know if this is gonna put a strain on his relationship with LeBron if they
That's
get
gonna
into
be
it. Or,
it's gonna be very interesting to watch.
so that could play a role into it as well. But this is a wait and see approach. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's
I
gonna
just heard
be
about it
it's
this morning, and I looked it up.
yeah, they're going forward with it.
And okay.
Yeah, they're going forward. This is the decision they're making. They're going forward with it, man. They're going forward. Mo, what do you think? He had to blow them away in that interview process. Golly. Anyway, he had to. Talking about next pack
or
rally.
LeBron just said, "Look, yo, I want him."
Could be.
I mean, I get where Craig coming from because
Could be.
they got a podcast together. Don't him and JJ got podcast
Yes,
together?
and I need to watch that joint because they break down the game of basketball. I need to watch it.
So with him and JJ having
I might watch the
podcast
first episode
together,
tomorrow.
I feel like
JJ knows basketball. I'm not gonna lie though.
Yeah,
He's vicious. He's vicious though.
but here go the issue though.
He knows basketball. I ain't gonna lie.
No coach
I
experience.
give him that.
So now do you fall into a 1 year situation? Because guess what? If you just fired a coach who went to the West Conference Finals a year ago, then this year he got put out first round by the defending champs. So it's like if you make the playoffs again to get put out, does Jay get fired? Do you give him 2 years? Do you give him 3 years?
I don't know. They said he lost the locker room. They said Darvin Ham lost the locker room. You remember those comments that AD said? He was like, "We don't know what we're doing." Yeah, once you lose the locker room as a coach, it's nothing you can do. Don't matter what you do. Whether it's NFL, baseball, NBA, once you lose that locker room, you gotta go. If one of your star players come out and say they don't know it, he's like, "I don't know what we're doing, man. I don't know what we." I was like, "Damn!" And then I heard some stuff about Darvin Ham that came out. There's nothing wrong with him, but.
I like JJ, but at the end of the day, we know losing brings out certain things. So my thing is, what happens when they go on that first losing streak, or something happens, and then LeBron or Anthony Davis open their mouth again? Then you're back.
Well, it's not that, Mo. I think this is true. When the playoffs come, the intensity rises, and you got to put more hours in. They were saying that he wasn't putting in the hours.
So,
like,
you think JJ, even if it's a losing, you feel like JJ would have the locker room better, and players won't.
Maybe we don't know. Like, think about it. You gotta think what you're saying, right? It's not the loss, maybe. So when you lose the locker room. We look at it as a loss. You do, Mo, and you know this from coaching. It's certain things that you know that goes behind the scenes,
right?
That some coaches don't put work in as others, and that's in life. When people put in more work, they perform better. This is what I heard. They said that he wasn't putting the hours of like Mike Malone or Jason Kidd, like. That's what I heard. I don't know, but once you lose that locker room, it's a wrap. I've never, and maybe, Craig could be right. Maybe it was LeBron, but when AD came out and said that, and AD don't really be coming out against coaches, so that's all I'm saying. It could have. That's what I heard. I listen to a lot of Lakers. I was listening to Lakers Nation. They were saying that. He wasn't a grinder. That's what the rumor was.
Yeah. I just want to see if you make that hire as a dude who never been a head coach before. If you start to lose or whatever, I feel like when you got two people like LeBron and AD who not holding their tongue, I just want to see how it's gonna work.
If he's losing but putting in the hours, I think that's different than losing and not.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know he didn't put in the hours, but that's what the streets is talking. That's what I don't know. I don't know Darvin Ham, but that's what was going on. They said he didn't put in the playoffs to put in the hours. And that's why AD was like he doesn't make adjustments. If you see when Darvingham coaches during the playoffs, he doesn't make in-game adjustments. So you see how Jason Kidd made these coaches, they make game adjustments. And if you can't adjust in basketball and playoff basketball, you lose.
Absolutely.
You got 7 games. If they make an adjustment game 2 and you have no answer for it, you're getting swept. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point, we might as well take a flyer. LeBron's gonna be gone in 2 years. I don't even know how the franchise will be, but we will be back again. I just don't know when. I don't know why. It's a lot of things that could factor. They're trying to get another superstar. I don't know. I don't know, Mo. I don't know. Rumor they're getting Donovan Mitchell. In Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell said he wants to stay. Then Garland says if Donovan stay, I'm gone. Atlanta has the number 1 pick. Trae Young is available. DeJounte Murray is available. Do y'all
think that was a Donovan Mitchell move though? Do you think he had a voice? I think he had a voice in that fire. Yeah. There's no way that franchise was terrible when dude got it, man. And for him to win 99 games in 2 years, biggest thing. I feel like off in that firing. Like you don't.
I was surprised he got fired. I'm be honest.
I just don't.
I was surprised he got fired.
The thing about this, if you don't keep Donovan Mitchell, you're right back to square one. I don't care how Mobley's playing. I don't care about.
You don't like Garland?
Respect. I like Garland, but if Mitchell leaves, they're right back to square one. They're right back lottery team to me. They're not a playoff team if Mitchell leaves. That's just me being honest. They're not a playoff team. I won't be disrespectful and say top 5, but they almost in the lottery. They ain't a playoff team if Mitchell leaves.
You don't think so? In the East?
Not in the East. Now with people getting better, you gotta look at it right quick though. Are they a playoff team still with Mitchell ain't better? I mean, with Mitchell leaving, are they a playoff team? They gotta let's look at who got out. I don't think so. I don't know. And when I say playoff team, I'm talking about them making the top 8. I don't talk about playing. Like I don't see them making the top 8 if Mitchell leaves.
Yeah, they made it last year without Mitchell, right? No, Mitchell was there in 22. Yeah. Was Mitchell there in 22? Mitchell was there in 22.
Mitchell was there last 2 years. Last 2 years they made the playoffs. Mitchell was there.
Yeah.
I don't see them being top 8 with Mitchell gone. If Mitchell leaves, I don't see them being top 8. Not unless they bring in another
that's gonna be tough.
Score or wing score that's on. I'm not gonna say fully on his level, but close enough.
Yeah, because 2022 they only won 41 games. Yeah, they won 44 games. Then they won 51. Then they won 48. I don't, Craig. What you think about that? Do you think if they get rid of Donovan, they won't make it? Cleveland?
It's gonna be
tough.
Tougher. I think they still could probably make the play in.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
because they were the 4th seed, so I think they could probably.
Yeah, they might be the 8th. They may be the 8th, but that's making a play.
And they started struggling. They started struggling at one point in time because they were like the number 2 seed at one point, and then they were. And then, fortunately for them, like Philly Embiid got hurt, and then the Magic had a tough stretch for a while where they started losing games. So they ended up in the 4th seed, and then obviously, who else was in it? Indiana was trying to fight back, and Miami was just, they struggle, but I think they could make the play in. But I don't think they will get into the top 6 to avoid the play in. I mean, you got some other teams still coming along. If Embiid is healthy, they're not. I don't think they're going to make the play in.
Orlando's probably going to be better next year, and so Indiana probably is too. Probably is too.
I mean, you got
with Siakam there a whole year, they're probably going to be
other
better.
Than like Indiana, New York, Boston, and Philly, and Milwaukee.
Yeah.
You got that's pretty much like the top 5. Then you got Orlando, and then Miami. And other than that, I think they can make the play in. I don't really see too much resistance from teams like Washington or Charlotte,
Nope.
Atlanta, Chicago.
Nope.
I think they're going to be in those two teams. They'll be probably going to be in the mix.
Yeah, they're gonna be in fire sale. Yeah.
Detroit's been a mess. Toronto has been, and then Brooklyn. So
yeah,
I think they can make the play in, but I don't know. Maybe they probably don't make it into the playoffs. I think they could probably lose in the play in. So if they don't have Mitchell,
yeah, because Chicago is going to East about to look crazy because I don't think DeMar coming back. They're trying to trade Zach LaVine on pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason he wasn't traded this all season, the only reason he wasn't traded the All-Star break was the injury.
Yep, they're about to trade him.
We're not doing this with him being injured. Why are we going to trade for somebody that's not going to play for us? Like, why are we going? I think if he was healthy, I think they would have got some for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that Atlanta's blowing it up.
Oh yeah, they talking about
they got the number one pick.
They talking about the Spurs possibly moving up to one to join to bring Wimber and that and the other dude, I forgot his name. But they talking about the other Frenchman, combine them together.
The other Frenchman?
Yeah, the dude. What's his name?
He's from
I
know you're talking about. He's like 7'1". I know you're talking about. He's on top of the mock drafts.
Yeah. I've heard the Spurs are interested in probably moving.
Alex Starr.
Yeah.
Alex Starr. That's his name.
I've heard Spurs are interested in moving up to one and combining them two together.
Yeah, because they have the number 4 pick and they have the number 8 pick. I don't know if Atlanta could, but this isn't a deep draft. I wouldn't trade the number 1 pick. Not in a deep draft. I guess you could get the 4th pick. Nah, I wouldn't trade if I was Atlanta. I wouldn't trade. Not the way this draft going. I'm getting the best player. Because it might be a huge drop off of that after that. All right. Craig, your top 5. Oh, we might have to push some of that in it. We might push the NFC South and West till next week. All right, yeah. We're going to finish off with those two. Craig's top 5.
So my top 5 this week, a lot of people, I think they might have been on ESPN or something like that. Somebody had asked, or somebody had said that Kyrie was going to be the best Robin of all time, or could be the best Robin of all time if he wins another championship. So I did my top 5 NBA Robins of all time.
Whoa, okay.
Starting with Dwayne Wade. I think Dwayne Wade, with the times that he was there, with LeBron being the Batman, he was the Robin. 2 championships in 4 years. They could have lost one of those if Stockton kept Tim Duncan in the game. Possibly he got a rebound and they could have won that game instead. Ray Allen hits a 3 times.
Kicked it right out, Bosh. Kicked that joint right out. LeBron James missed it. Boop. Anyway,
that was his team. He had won a championship a few years before. And he ended up taking a back seat to LeBron James coming in. Went from being a number 1 option to being a number 2 option. He was a great number 2 option during that time. He sacrificed a lot, and the team won 2 championships for it. So I put him at number 5. Number 4 is another guy who sacrificed because it was his team. He ended up taking a back seat to Kevin Durant, and that's Steph Curry. Steph was a great number 2 at the time. They won 2 championships in 3 years. Should have won 3 if Clay doesn't get hurt and KD doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, they would have went back to back, right? That would have been a 3-beat if they beat Toronto.
No, that had just been 3 because they lost 2016.
No, but Kevin Durant. No, that's what I'm saying. If Kevin Durant stays healthy.
It'd have been a 3-peat. He was only there for 3 years. They had lost 2016. They won 2017, won 2018 with Durant, and then lost 2019.
Man, if they
And
would have
then-
three-peated, boy, Draymond would have. Anyway,
They could have 3-peated. I think
they could have three-peated.
Steph played well for being a number 2 option. He averaged 26
Mhm.
a game with 6 assists and 5 rebounds. He just unfortunately they had that last season where everything kind of fell apart for that team, mostly because of injuries. But I did like Steph in that role.
Yeah.
When he took a back seat. But then when he got his time to shine, I guess a couple years ago against Boston, he emerged and finally won his Finals MVP. My number 3 is Kareem. 5 championships and 8 appearances with the Lakers. He was on the downside of his career, but he was still able to put up points and cause mismatches for that team. Obviously, Magic was the Batman for that team at the time, even coming in his rookie season playing center, and winning the championship, helping the team win the championship. It was Showtime Lakers, but Kareem still played a pivotal role for that team, helping to dominate in the paint a little bit. Like I said, he wasn't the same Kareem at the time, but he was still a formidable Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I got him at number 3. Number 2 is Kobe. 3 championships and 4 appearances with Shaq and that Lakers team. He struggled in the playoffs early on, shooting those air balls, but that just made him a better
97
player.
against Utah.
Made him a more determined player, and he came back. And then a series against Indiana when Shaq was in foul trouble. He hit some big shots in that series. And,
Don't forget to come back against Portland.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because
Shaq wasn't playing good.
That game 7 against Portland, and there was also the controversial series against was it game 7 or game? I think it was game 7 against Sacramento.
Sacramento's a game. That's the Sacramento at Chris Webber and Mike Bibby. Yeah.
They had. I mean, there was a lot of fouls in that game, but that could have went either way. I think that was also the Mike Donahue game.
It was
on that.
It was the Mike Donahue game
on that one, but Kobe played well for being as young as he was. He eventually stepped up into that into that Batman role when he had his own Robin and Pau Gasol. And they won 2 championships, but just
back
for that, that was a young Kobe who was still trying to find his way, and Shaq was just a beast in that team. And number 1 to me is Scottie Pippen. The numbers aren't better than some of these other players, but
he won 6.
what he played and what he was able to do, the position that he played, the team won 6 championships, 6 appearances, never went to a game 7.
Two of those teams people consider the 97. One of those teams, we'll see 96. They say this one of the best teams ever, 72-10, and they say the 92 Bulls too. I think that's Jordan last.
98,
93 was his last season before he
93, but the 92-93 season, people say that when they beat the
Suns,
Barkley, the Suns. Yeah, they're saying that they're saying that's one of the best Bulls teams.
That was a really good Bulls team. I mean, they had
either that one or was it the 91-92 seasons? Either one of those first two out of those 2 dynasties in the first dynasty, a lot of people consider one of those Bulls teams as the greatest ever.
Where they beat the Blazers, right?
Yeah, that might have been it. That might have been it. But it's one of those teams are considered. So actually, how great Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen were together. A lot of 2 of the teams that they played on are considered some of the top greatest teams ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how great. Like the 01 Lakers, the 96 Bulls. I think it's the 92 or 91 Bulls. I don't quote me. I don't know, but that's some of the best NBA teams ever. I think that some of the Spurs teams is included in that. The Miami teams, of course. But yeah, that Scottie Pippen was a beast. Yeah. One of the Spurs teams, they said it was, I don't think it might have been 2007. Might have been the 7. Might have been 2007 Spurs, but they were like one of the Spurs teams were like great player, like you know what I'm saying. Like,
but this
I'm just saying the Bulls had 2 great, phenomenal top 10 teams.
But Scottie Pippen was
Beast.
Obviously he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best defenders. That's what kind of set him apart. Besides the 6 championships, was his defense.
Yeah.
So, he was a great role player. He played his position when he was on the squad with when Mike Jordan was there, and then he even had a couple of opportunities to make something happen in the play, especially that first season after Michael Jordan left. Ended up playing the Knicks, and Kukoc hit the game-winning shot, and we all saw on Last Dance how he took that. But his time there with Michael Jordan was, it's just 6-0 is 6-0. So he's my number one Robin of all time. I don't even know where I would put Kyrie if they win the championship this year. I definitely wouldn't put him in my top 5, regardless of what he does. I don't think I put him in my top 10. I think there's other Klay Thompson, who I didn't even mention, is out there. So many Joe Dumars is another one.
Yep.
So it's so many other players. Kevin McHale.
Yep.
So,
yep.
I can't even put him in that conversation in my top 10 at this point. Regardless, I know he hit a big shot in 2016, but he might hit a big one in 2024. But there's so many.
He could have been.
Robin over him.
Yeah, he could have been Craig, but the way certain stuff played out, and he could have been up there. He could have been, like, if he stayed with LeBron, I don't know what they would have done together. I don't know. I don't think they would have beat the Warriors teams, but we don't know what they would have done.
To the conversation for me. He might work his way back into the conversation for me if he wins another championship, two more maybe.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, Kareem did it with one guy. Steph did it with one guy. All the guys that I mentioned did it with just one guy. Kyrie will have done it with LeBron, and they'll have switched and done it with Luka.
Yeah. And like, if he would have stayed there at Cleveland, I know people would have been like, "Oh, they would have." We don't know with Kyrie there.
I think the Boston team didn't go as bad. I think the narrative would have been a little bit better.
Well, if he had won in,
he forced his way out of Cleveland, then he forced his way out of Boston.
A lot better. I might view it differently. If he had won in Brooklyn, that'd have been 2, and then if he had won here, it would have been 3 different superstars that he would have been
it would have been different if he won in Brooklyn.
But he would have had multiple championships.
Right.
It would have been a lot different because then
3 at the time, I guess.
It would have been this would have been his 3rd final, well, maybe 4 finals. I think he went. He was hurt one with Cleveland.
He's been to 3 finals.
With Cleveland.
The Cleveland Cavaliers. They just
got
lost.
It. Okay. They lost to yes.
They lost to was it 3 or was it 2? I think it was 3.
I think it was 3. I thought it was 3.
It wasn't 3?
I thought it was.
They lost to Golden State twice and won with Golden State.
I
thought he was maybe he wasn't on the 2018 finals team that got it. Maybe he wasn't.
No. He was on Boston. 2017 he got traded. So
okay, so he's been there twice. This is his 3rd time.
Yeah, he's been there twice. Yeah. Yep, because he got traded. Because of 2016-17.
What's that dude?
Yeah, he played the
J.R. Smith.
Yep. Because he would have been. Because I'm reading now,
No, it says 4.
He left.
No, it was 4. That's right.
He lost
2015.
He lost 2015.
Won in 2016.
He lost in 2015. Yep.
Lost in 2017, and this will be his 4th time. So he's been there 3 times.
He's been there 3 times. Yes. Well, 15 he got hurt.
This is his 4th. This is going to be his 4th time.
This will be his 4th time. Yes. 15. Remember, 15 he got hurt in the finals. I think
that's when they did.
That's the one they won. That's the one where they won. With Golden State won 4-1, right? LeBron was by himself, and it was just. It was bad.
I think they won 4-2. That's when Iguodala.
No, they won 6 games. Yeah, they won 6 games. Yes, Craig is right. They
You were
won.
saying
Yeah,
that he
it was
didn't have any
42.
help. He didn't have any, but yeah, I don't think he played.
And it was an argument. Everybody was making an argument that LeBron, even in loss, everybody was like, he might have been able to get finals MVP. Everybody was like,
I mean that
Yeah, he had bums on his team.
that joint was that joint was crazy. The numbers he put up that finals was crazy, Mo. It was crazy. And then when Kyrie was healthy, they won. When Kyrie was healthy, they won.
Everybody was like, even in the loss, he might deserve to be finals MVP because it was like, what more can you ask of somebody who didn't really have nothing around him?
It's only one other person that happened to that. They lost the finals and got finals MVP, and that's Jerry West. So he would have been the second person. But remember when Kyrie came back and Kyrie was healthy, they beat the greatest regular season team ever.
Yes.
I think they got a little bit of help with the Draymond Green thing.
Yeah. But then he left. They lost 4-1 with KD was there. He was out of there. Yeah, he was out. He was out. I mean, that's one of the best teams ever. It's hard to beat them. When Golden State got KD, it was just I don't know. I don't know how you contend with that. But that's when Kyrie left. And then he went to Boston. And remember, he got hurt. And I think Boston went to the NBA. No, Boston reached the conference finals. They lost to Cleveland. Then he went to Brooklyn. And you see what happened with Brooklyn. And then he went to Dallas. And I hope
I want to see Kyrie. I mean, listen. I love seeing people succeed, man, but I would love to see.
I would
love to see Tatum win it. When the last time we seen a Duke star as the face of the franchise win a chip?
Cut it out.
My bad, Craig, I ain't trying to be funny, dog.
I didn't even realize that. Hold on, the main. You said the main. You said a Duke person is the main.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah. When the last time we seen that? Yeah.
I don't know. No.
Not as the face, not as the lead dog, but
this ain't gonna be that time either. Oh no,
Tatum. I don't see one.
I wouldn't listen. It wouldn't surprise me if Brown got MVP though.
It could be the first time ever.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't see any. No, it would be mad. It would be Larry Bird. Larry Bird didn't go to Duke.
Larry Bird.
You talk about Duke? It doesn't look like it's a lot, actually.
But that was something that won a chip, but not the face, but it was the lead dog.
Yeah, I'm looking at Finals MVP, which is the face. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, none. I don't see any. Well, I don't know what Joe. Well, I'm going back to the 80s. I don't see nobody. What's Cedric Maxwell?
I wouldn't be surprised if Jaylen Brown went MVP, though. I wouldn't be surprised if he went Finals MVP.
Nope. Cedric Maxwell went to Charlotte. Magic Johnson, we all know where he went. Yeah. Moses Malone came out of high school. Yeah. Yeah. We know where James Worthy went. We know where Jordan went.
Yeah.
Let me look at Joe Dumars. Nope, McNeese. Joe Dumars went to McNeese. We know Isaiah went to Indiana. Tim Duncan went to Wake Forest. Shaq went to LSU. Kobe straight out of college. Yep. Chauncey Billups went to Colorado.
Yep.
Dwayne Wade went to Marquette. Tony Parker. France. Paul Pierce, Kansas.
Kawhi, San Diego State.
LeBron, high school. Kobe, high school. Dirk, overseas. KD, Texas. Giannis, overseas. Steph Curry, Dayton. Nikola Jokic, overseas.
Yeah.
It would be. If Tatum won it and got Finals MVP, it would be maybe the first I know you don't want to hear this, Craig, but he might be the first Duke player ever. I don't
Yeah,
see
yeah,
any
yeah.
Duke
He's the
players.
first player Duke
He
player
would
ever.
be not ever, not ever. No disrespect. Since 1980, definitely.
Oh,
Since
another Duke player on
1980,
finals MVP?
definitely. I don't know,
Oh,
man. You talk about going back in the 70s. I don't know.
yeah.
Let me see what
I don't
school
know Duke
Dennis
player ever won
Johnson went
finals
to.
MVP. I don't know.
Dennis, no, he went to Dennis Johnson. Dennis Johnson went to Pepperdine. Wes Unseld went to Louisville. I don't know. Bill Walton went to, he's from the West Coast, UCLA.
Yes, yes. Rest in
Um,
peace.
JoJo White went to Kansas. I don't think there's ever been a Duke player. Rick Barry went to Miami. These are all finals MVPs. I don't think they went.
Not a, yeah,
Jerry West went to West Virginia. I don't think there's ever been a Duke lead player. Hey, shout out to Willis Weed, went to Grambling State. Lou Alcindor, of course, he went to UCLA. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, John Havlicek,
have a check. Have a check.
Havlicek. He went to Ohio State. I don't think it's been a Duke player
Yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Will Chamberlain went to Kansas. I'm in the 69s. I'm in the 60s, man. That's the farthest it goes back for Finals MVP. So no, Jason Tatum be the first Finals MVP, which I consider a face of a championship team.
Yeah.
That's what I would. So, hey, Craig, the great thing is Duke players don't win it. So, a lot more Carolina players won Finals MVP and been facing franchises before Duke players. It's a fact. It's a fact. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. Let's talk about the WNBA, which has been getting a lot of press recently. Let me ask you this. Mo. What are your thoughts on how much, like the hard foul that Caitlin, what's going on with my words? I'm just getting tired. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. What do you think?
I kind of see it as like a welcome to the league thing. That some people might think is going far, but I think it's. I think it comes with the game. I don't think they're being targeted. Let me say this. I don't think so. I gotta watch it more, but in my mind, I think it's more. Welcome to WNBA. I think it's more when, we always say, we know the famous Bible verse: "Much is given, much is required." So I think when you come into the league with all this fanfare and all this camera time that the league is not used to, a lot of women might come a little more over aggressive, might come like, hold up, shorty. We want to make sure you're earning this and not just coming in and it's being given to you, because now this ain't college no more. It's a whole new league. So sometimes things might look a certain way, but I don't think they're being targeted. But I think at the same time, people are making sure they're earning their strike. I don't think people maliciously trying to take them out. Let me say that.
Okay. Craig, what are your thoughts on the Caitlin Clark foul and the Angel Reese comments? Oh, let me tell you what in the comments. I'm sorry, from what Angel Reese said is Angel Reese said it basically started with her and Caitlin Clark in the national championship game versus LSU when she went like this, and she says she's been a villain. This is Angel Reese. She says she's been a villain. She doesn't mind being a villain, and she's like, it's good for women basketball. They've been dealing with it a while. But that was it. Now, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Craig. I just wanted to fill that in. My apologies.
I thought the foul was dirty. I thought it was a dirty play, but at the same time, Kennedy Clark is she's not a dirty player, but she's like a physical,
yeah, She's physical.
aggressive type of player. If you watched her play in the past, so this is not nothing new from her. But at the same time, I thought the foul was a cheap shot. But if you look back, that's pretty much what people. It's crazy because that's all you see is that part. You don't.
Yeah, go ahead, break it down.
Caitlin Clark talking trash to her. There was one incident where she was talking trash to her. She was mouthing back or mouthing to her. I don't know what she said, but they caught her saying something to her. And then there was also another play where she threw an elbow.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was inadvertent or if it was just like the heat of the battle, trying to go for a rebound or whatever, or trying to keep her away from the rebound. She caught her with an elbow. So that all kind of led up to Kennedy Clark, hip checking her or like whatever you want to call it, checking her and making her fall down. So I don't think she's being targeted. I think a lot of people are saying she's being targeted and all this stuff, and I just don't agree with that. I think if she, I don't think I'll say this: if she didn't do what she did on that other end, that's not getting a lot of press or not getting a lot of people talking about it. They only see the Kennedy Clark stuff. Then I don't think Kennedy Clark would have done what she did. So
that's a good one.
She kind of bought it on herself. Not saying that she deserved to get that because, like I said, it was a cheap shot. It was a dirty play. She didn't deserve to get that. But at the same time, when you throw an elbow, whatever it is, whether she meant it or not, or whether you talk trash to a veteran player or something like that, you might get some type of backlash form of a non-basketball play that you don't want to have happen to you. So that's kind of what happened to her in that situation. She's, like I said, she's not getting targeted. I don't think any of these rookies are getting targeted. This is just physical play. And when you do something, your actions have consequences in certain it might not happen that same game. It might happen a couple games later. Like in baseball.
They remember.
So you'll see a pitcher throw a ball and it'll hit the batter. And then like it might not even be that same pitcher to come up to hit. Yeah. Whatever. There might be another batter on that team, but the other team might retaliate with a fastball inside as well. It might hit their player, and then all of a sudden you got a brawl happening. So it just happens, man. It's just something that happens. It's a physical game. At the same time, though, you got to kind of watch what you do because Caitlin Clark is bringing a lot of eyes that weren't on the sport last year or years prior.
A whole bunch.
So you don't want to don't want to mess that up in terms of what Stephen A. Smith said it was the golden goose or whatever. I'm so sick of hearing it. He said it like 20 times, but you don't want to mess that up because she's helping grow the sport.
He was talking about Caitlin Clark.
Right. He kept saying she was the golden goose or whatever. So she is because she's bringing a lot of eyes to the sport and is just drawing a lot of revenue. And if you start messing that up in terms of cheap shots on her or something like that, that could take the eyes that were coming to see this off. Because, I mean, you look at the numbers, they had the highest rated or highest numbers in terms of watching the first game of the season with that double hitter. And also the WNBA draft had the highest numbers ever. So you don't want to mess that up, but I just don't think she's being targeted. I think she's just it is what it is. It comes with the territory of being a rookie in the WNBA. I mean, she's going to have to just deal with it at this point. She's going to have to just put up numbers. And it could be some jealousy out there because all these veteran players have been in the league busting their ass, and then all of a sudden here comes a rookie, and now all of a sudden the numbers are going up, the revenue's going up, all this stuff. She's getting teams that have charter flights now.
Sound teams, familiar?
Not all teams.
Sound familiar?
But it is what it is, man.
Signature shoe deal.
They got that too. It just comes with the territory. So I mean, it could be some jealousy there as well. But like Mo said, I agree with that. I don't think she's being targeted. I think it's just physical play.
Man, all this. Listen, she's not being targeted. It's a physical game. They're playing it. Listen, guys. This is what the WNBA has been asking for years. Now they're GOAT debates. It wasn't like that before. It wasn't. Now we're having a conversation of the greatest of all time. You hear it in football and basketball all the time. You know what I'm saying? No, like it comes up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Jordan is the greatest. LeBron's one of the conversation of LeBron and Jordan. But the GOAT conversation with basketball has been happening for a minute. And Jordan didn't have it easy. No. It's the nature of the game. It's not easy. If you are great and you're supposed to transcend the game, you have to adjust. It's when Diana Taurasi said it, everybody was like she's hating. No, it's a real thing. It's like, hey guys, it's going to be an adjustment period. And I said this before, with anything in life, going from college to becoming a professional that goes to work every day, it's a different. You have people that have been doing that for 10 years. Like, look at you, still showing up to work, wilding out, late. Like, you don't even, because you're still adjusting to the college life, still hanging out with people, you know. It's not. Listen, I'm not comparing the WNBA to college and professional working. I'm just saying that in any profession, is there an adjustment period from college or high school? It's just a natural progression of life. And I think, but the great thing is they're both young. The WNBA everybody's talking about the WNBA. Stephen A. Smith and Monica McNutt. I don't say her name right. They went viral for their exchange, and then she was on. I saw their exchange, and then I saw she was on Shannon Sharp Nightcap the day after. And she explained herself, so this is good. And she was just like, "Yo, this is what the WNBA wanted. Eyes on it. WNBA players, y'all been asking for this. Y'all got charter flights. People are starting to get shoe deals. And yeah, it's Caitlin Clark is a factor. Angel Reese is a factor too. She was at the Met Gala. So Angel Reese at the Met Gala.
They get more televised games.
I ain't see no WNBA star in no Met Gala. None. And then you got Clayton Clark with the shoot. Like, it's okay, guys. This is what y'all wanted. There's eyes. We're going to be talking about it going forward. Everybody's going to be talking about it. It's awesome for the sport. Enjoy it. Relish it so your sport can grow. Nobody's being targeted. It's Caitlin Clark is just going to have to go through what everybody else did before. LeBron went through it. Remember LeBron? Carlos Boozer and Darius Miles and Ricky Davis, like, man, nah. He ain't coming in here and starting. And you know what LeBron said? He said, I didn't. He said, I came in there and did whatever they asked me to. It's just it's a natural part. Especially with sports. The sports is so much more physical. Your body has to develop. You have to work out differently. You know, in the college, you're more. Gilbert Arenas said this, and we're gonna go on to our last topic, the NFL. Gilbert Arenas was like, "Yo, in college, it's so structured. It's like you wake up at 6 a.m. You got 6 a.m. You got class, you got film, you got practice, and you have people that are telling you, hey, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here." He said the NBA, man, practice at 10. You out, you done by 1. Because it's a professional. I don't have to tell you to go. Now, if you're Kobe or LeBron or Jordan, you're at the facility at 5 a.m. working out. Not everybody does that. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard work. And I know, like, Michael Conley's and the J.J. Reddick's and the Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, for them to play 14 years, man, the amount of work they probably had to put in. You know what I'm saying? They probably waking up at 6, 7, putting in work before practice, working out after the game and after practice. You know what I'm saying? So she just has to adjust her schedule, and we gonna be all right. Let's go. All right. We were talking about this, guys, before we got on camera, and this is very interesting now. Justin Jefferson just got paid a lot of money, and he's the highest non-paid quarterback at $35 million a year.
Yep.
Now, let me ask y'all, who do you think is going to have, first of all, how do you think this is going to transform the receiver market? Go ahead, Mo. I know you ready, man. Go ahead. How you think it's going to transform it?
I think with Chase, I think we got, and I'm just going to speak. I'm not going to speak to it overall, but speak to the next two coming up. You got Chase and you got CeeDee Lamb. You got Jamar Chase. You got CeeDee Lamb. I'm not for necessarily doing the. I'm not necessarily for the giving a hometown discount. So I think both of them are going to get close to it. I don't know if they're going to exceed it. I don't want to speculate, but I think they're going to come close to that 110 guarantee. I've always told people, when we talk about people and players, are we talking about stats or are we talking about winning? Because I understand, and I think, James, we got this argument before, right quick discussion. I think it's an argument about CeeDee Lamb. And Jamar.
It wasn't an argument. It was just comparing
stats. Yeah. But what I would bring up is
they're really close, though. You're right. They're
I'm
close.
About winning. To me, I'm about winning. So what I would say is, if I'm a Jamar Chase who's been to a Super Bowl as an AFC Championship game and barely lost, I've been to an AFC Championship game, barely lost, and I've been to a Super Bowl as a face of the franchise receiver. I think Jamar Chase can now look at Cincinnati and say, hold up, this dude who ain't even been out of the first round is making this much money. And I've been the face of the franchise as a productive receiver, and we're winning. I think Jamar Chase can ask for that kind of money.
How much do you think CeeDee Lamb gets? Before I go to Craig, how much do you think CeeDee Lamb gets?
I think CeeDee Lamb is not going to get 30, but I think he'll be crazy.
He's gonna get over 30, Mo. Justin Jefferson got 35.
Okay, my bad. I ain't know Justin. All right.
So he got 35. He got 35.
I think the lowest he's gonna get 30. I would say
he might get a little bit more than that.
30. I don't think he's gonna get over. I don't think Dallas. Let me say that.
Okay.
I don't think that if he stays in Dallas, I don't think Dallas is going to pay him over 35. So I think if he stays in Dallas, he's going to get 30.
Jeez. All right. Okay. Craig, what do you think? Justin Jefferson, 35. Hey, talk about a bag. $35 million reasons. How do you think this changes the receiver market, Craig? And do you agree that CeeDee Lamb is going to get 30 million? Yeah.
The market is the market at this point. So, Justin Jefferson set the market really, really high. It is what it is. If this is just based off of a team and there was no market out there, then you could just say, all right, cool, the owner or the team decides what they're going to pay. But the market is out there. It's set high. CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase are the two next receivers, or at least the two next best receivers.
Yes, they are.
To have an opportunity to get paid at this point. So I think they definitely both deserve to get paid. Dallas might be a little bit more iffy because their whole quarterback situation. They got to try to figure out what they're going to do with Dak, if they're going to re-sign Dak or whatever the case may be, and then you got to try to figure out what you're doing with CeeDee Lamb. In Cincinnati, Burrow's he already got his contract, right? Didn't Burrow get paid already?
Yeah. Burrow got paid. Burrow got paid $55 million a year.
Now you have Chase
at $55 million
trying to get signed as well. So, if I think CeeDee Lamb deserves to get number 2 or number. Yeah, I would probably say number 2. If I'm CeeDee Lamb, though, I might try to hold out and try to wait to see what maybe Chase does.
Yeah.
Maybe you can try to. If I'm Dallas, I'm trying to sign him ASAP. But if I'm CeeDee Lamb, I might try to wait. Same thing with Jamar Chase. Try to wait a little bit. depending on if the Bengals try to sign him real quick. But I think both of those guys deserve to get paid. They both put up phenomenal numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they need to get paid more than Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson has proven that he's arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL when he's healthy. Now his numbers might take a little. I don't know what his numbers are going to be like without Kirk Cousins, so that might be something to look at. Versus CeeDee Lamb, who still has a really great quarterback, and obviously Jamar Chase has a great quarterback there. So we'll see what happens there, but yeah, I think CeeDee Lamb, I would say probably around, if I were to guess, maybe like 32 and a half, 33, somewhere around that range.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 33, 34, around there, at least.
Same thing with Chase. I think he could be around that area as well. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Remember, I just found this out with Chase. He got drafted in 21, so he might reset it like Jefferson did.
I wouldn't be surprised if either one of those guys are overtake Jefferson in terms of being the highest wide receiver paid.
Yep.
Because it seems like that's the way it goes. One guy signs, sets the market, and another guy, all right, cool, he got that. I deserve this, and then he just paid that or whatever.
Because if CeeDee has another year he had last year,
his numbers last year, I mean, he had a
lot of money,
30-some catches, 12 touchdowns, like almost 1,800 yards.
Yep.
He had a great year last year. So, I mean, if he can put those numbers up again, you have to pay him at that point. And I think
you have to.
Up again, I would definitely look at making him the highest paid wide receiver at that point.
Yeah.
But Dallas, like most said, Dallas is Dallas, man. I mean, you know what they're going to do down there. They might not pay him, or they might not make him the highest paid just because it is Dallas, and they just don't seem like they just do things that way. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens with those two guys. Hopefully, they get their money before the season starts, and we just move on from this whole topic of trying to figure out if they're going to get paid or not, or what they're going to get paid. So,
yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't shocked. It's been reports and rumors since last year. And, I mean, the salary cap's going up. And the receivers, they're not going anywhere. Now, I know some people are. Some people said that, might have been Brockman off Rich Eisen's show, if I remember it. Might be Chris Brockman off Rich Eisen's show. He was saying that he thinks the receiver, it could be a receiver bubble. And Rich Eisen said no, he doesn't think so. This is before this came out. He was like, I think Richard Jefferson is going to reset the market, and then it's going to be CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase. Oh, guess who we forgot? Guess who we forgot about?
Ayuk.
Huh? Say it again?
Brandon Ayuk.
No. Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna have to redo. Yeah. Why? What do you mean? Why would he not get paid?
No. I didn't know he was. I'm not saying he don't deserve.
Yeah.
Money. I didn't know his contract.
Yeah, he's at 19 million or something. He had 31. He gonna look at him like, nah, I need to restructure. He just put up numbers last year.
Ayuk waiting for bread too, though, right?
Ayuk is probably gonna make. He's not gonna make 35, but he probably make around 30, maybe. What you think, Craig? About
they just signed
30? Yes, they did. They gave him extension.
Yeah.
You said what? Say it again, Craig.
No, I'm saying that they redid his deal or gave him an extension. So
yep.
And then you still got to look at Brock Purdy. He's going to have to get signed at some point, especially what he's been doing over the last these 2 seasons. And you got Ayuk. So,
what I would do, I'm gonna be honest. I would they might trade Debo. They might trade Debo.
They want to do something. I mean, after a while, and we gotta look at this though. Look, Buffalo just went through the same thing. After a while, when you stack your team through draft picks or whatever, if you don't win the
Purdy still got 2 more seasons though.
He does. But I'm just
East,
saying,
that's
like,
crazy.
it's gonna be.
He's coming up. Yeah, he's gonna come up.
Yeah.
He's coming up. He's coming up.
And he
And you
deserves
gotta
to get-
sign. You gotta
he
sign
deserves to
Ayuk if you're gonna sign Purdy. You have to.
I don't know what you would do for a last pick in the draft in terms of would you automatically just give him like
How much you think he's gonna get? Let's talk about this before we go. How much you think Purdy would? How much you think they're gonna give Purdy?
I mean, you got to think about it though, and it's all on his I don't know his agent team, his management team, but you really got to look at this though. And I know people want to say, "Mo, you crazy for what I'm about to say." And this goes back to my argument. Are we talking about stats? Or are we talking about winning? Because if you're talking about winning, look at the last.
Purdy got good stats too, though.
No, yeah, he do. But if you're talking about winning, if you take Mahomes out of the picture, right?
Yes,
Mahomes
we can do that.
Right?
Let's not even talk about Mahomes. Right, gotcha.
Let's look at the last 5 years. What quarterback that just got paid outside Mahomes has won more than Brock Purdy? And I'm talking about been to a Super Bowl, and I'm talking about playoff wins.
I want to say
maybe Jared Goff.
Burrow. How much out? What about Burrow? I don't know how many playoffs.
Burrow might be.
I don't know how many playoffs did he win? How many games?
I'm talking about like maybe the last 5 years. Though. I'm talking about since Brock Purdy been there though. Maybe Burrow, maybe Stafford.
That's Burrow.
Maybe Burrow and Stafford.
Yeah. That's it.
That's probably it, right?
Not Lamar, who got paid. I mean, are we gonna say Golf? Golf ain't been to a Super Bowl. Purdy just went to a Super Bowl. I mean, he went to a Super Bowl. Went to Super Bowl, but that was what 6 years ago.
Yeah,
5 years
it's
ago.
Gonna be Golf just got paid too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we really got to look at this where if his management team really comes to the table on some stats and some numbers about his winning, I mean, and you can't blame him for what team he get, and especially when, like you said, James, you missed irrelevant. You can't blame that man for what team or what he got dealt. You know what I'm saying?
So they said that Herbert,
Cousins.
right?
I'm saying Cousins, Herbert. You could throw Herbert in there too, but Cousins just got paid, and Cousins hasn't done anything.
Yeah, yes. And Herbert got paid. Herbert hasn't done nothing, Mo. Yeah. Herbert has not done nothing.
I would give Herbert a pass just because he's younger than Cousins.
Purdy.
Cousins and coming off an ACL tear.
Mo, listen, Mo. I agree with Craig on this. I don't think you have to be like. Well, let's see how much Tua and Lawrence gets paid. And then we're gonna tell you what Brock Purdy gonna get paid. Because if Tua and Lawrence get paid $50 million, you're gonna have to pay Purdy $50. You're gonna have to.
I'm speaking that though. We all on the same page. I'm saying if you Purdy, you're coming to the table saying, "And look at what I won. Look compared to other people who got."
If I'm Purdy, I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting. Yeah. I'm playing a waiting game. Absolutely. I'm waiting. I'm gonna see how much Tua get paid. I want to see how much Trevor get paid. I think of those. Craig, are those the only two?
They're the next two. I don't know.
They're the next two. I know Tua hasn't gotten paid yet.
Tua hasn't got paid. Lawrence hasn't got paid.
I know. I didn't watch the segment. I got to look at it. NFL Live was questioning how much do they think Trevor Lawrence is worth. It was like a segment on that. I got to go back and
he's going to get paid. If Justin Herbert got paid,
right.
That's all they're going to say is, I won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Or I've been to the playoffs. If you're Tua, you're going to have to at least start with Justin Herbert's contract.
Wasn't that Herbert when they came back on? Wasn't that Herbert and them they came back on?
For Trevor Lawrence, yes. Yep. Yeah. So Herbert's making 52. If you Tua, that's the starting point.
Yeah.
It's gonna get real because let me see how much hold on. Somebody else just came to my mind. Jalen Hurts, he's been to a Super Bowl.
Okay.
But he got paid though. He's getting paid $51 million. That's what I'm saying. Purdy's gonna at least get paid 50. Yeah. He's gonna get 50 plus because that's what the market is. And to your point, he's gonna come to the table like, I've been to a Super Bowl. Look at my stats. Herbert got paid 52.
Right.
That's where we're starting at. 52 million a year.
Yep.
If I'm Purdy. If I'm Tua, 52 million. Because Herbert got paid. That's crazy. Herbert got paid that money, man. He got paid 52 million.
I mean,
so it's like you haven't won a playoff. To your point, you haven't won. Herbert hasn't won a playoff game. And Tua's like, I want that.
Right.
Because then you're gonna start comparing stats. Tua's stats are better, and Purdy's stats are better than Herbert.
But you gotta look at it, man.
So if I'm Tua, I'm like, I need 54.
Yeah, if you don't want to start over, think about it. You ain't just scared
I need 54.
You don't want to start over, and you're scared to guess wrong. So if you can nab your quarterback right then and there who's been productive, you're going to do so because you're like, I really want to start over and set this franchise back. You know, look at the teams right now. Like you look at the Bears. Hopefully it goes well. But if you look at the Bears, though, them drafting Caleb Williams, that's their third quarterback drafted in the top 5 in the last 10 years. Last 7 years.
That's wild. That's wild.
In the last 7 years. Because you look at it, you had Mr. Trubisky.
They had Mitch Trubisky.
You had Fields. Okay, top 10. My bad. Top 10 or 11. But nevertheless, you had 3 first-round quarterbacks drafted within the last
They did. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Crazy. That is crazy.
That's a little wild. I'm trying to think. Hold on, 10 years is 14?
Yeah. They drafted Trubisky after 14. I forgot what year it was. But I know it was after 14.
I think Trubisky was
15 or 16.
17.
Yeah, about 17.
Well, because they picked Patrick Mahomes. They picked Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he was the same draft. Wow.
And Deshaun Watson. Yeah. It was that draft. They picked the biscuit.
I hate to say it, but looking at Kansas City, though, Kansas City, I guess they said we picked the right guy. I know they might have been debating between him and John. I guess they like, man, we picked the right guy.
Nah, there was no debate.
Oh, I didn't know how that draft was on that.
Nah, they said Brett Veach, who's the GM now, was a scout, went to Dorsey and said, hey, this kid Mahomes, we need him. He was like, he's going to change, not change the franchise, but he was like, he is the one. Brett Veach, the GM now, was a scout. And he was like, this kid Mahomes is like that. And the crazy thing is, Joe Klatt says he had a story about, and we're going to end on this. Joe Klatt has a story about he was sitting in a if y'all know Joe Klatt is, he's a big college football guy. He went to Colorado. He was a quarterback. He does all pre-draft stuff with college football. He doesn't even touch the NFL except for the draft. Like right now he's talking about college football. I listen to him a lot. He talks about all college football, spring games.
How the Greg McElroy, man. Yeah, him and Greg McElroy.
Yeah, that's what they do. He said that he was sitting, preparing notes, and John Gruden walks up to him. John Gruden. John Gruden walks up to him and says, hey, the Chiefs trading to get that kid Mahomes. He said, this is what John Gruden said. He says, Andy Reid, he says, reminds him of Brett Favre. Watch out. He tells Joe Klatt this right before the draft. Joe Klatt's like, what? Mahomes? Okay. I mean, I guess. I don't, you know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, okay. Like, Mahomes reminds you of Brett Favre. Like, and that's when Kansas City traded up. And you know who they made that trade with? Buffalo. They traded, Kansas City traded up in the top 10 to Buffalo over New Orleans, and they drafted Patrick Mahomes because New Orleans was drafting Patrick Mahomes. Sean Payton says it all the time. They were drafting him. And then Mahomes said that he really wanted to play for Andy Reid, and he told them, he was like, y'all, if y'all don't draft me, I'm going to New Orleans. And then they traded up and got him.
I know if it was a fifth, we all be drunk. But I bet, looking back on it, though, I bet Sean Payton would have drafted Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. definitely.
Remember when he had Lamar sitting right there, and people were speculating he was going to do it, and he drafted Marcus Davenport, the DN.
He drafted Marcus Davenport. If he would have drafted Lamar, he would still be coaching in New Orleans.
Yeah. Lord have mercy. Him, Kamara, and a young Michael.
Because wasn't Breeze still there? Breeze is still there, right? Breeze didn't retire till.
He was on the last.
Right, but Lamar would have learned. But he would have learned that he would have learned under Drew.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he would still been. Sean Payton still would have been coaching at New Orleans. Yeah, because Drew Brees. Yeah, Drew Brees retired 2020. So Lamar.
I mean, 2 years now, but Lamar would have been sitting for 2 years.
Yeah, he would have been sitting for 2. He would have been sitting for 2, which would have been perfect.
That's Sean Payton, though. Sean Payton would have had a package for him. He wouldn't have been sitting.
Oh, yeah, he wouldn't have been sitting. But by the time Drew would have been retired, Lamar would have came in, and Sean Payton would have probably had some craziness with Lamar.
Yeah.
Sean Payton, Lamar would have probably been sick.
Yeah.
Sorry, Craig. Y'all would have been. Craig would have liked it because New Orleans would have just been, continued. But anyway, guys, we're going to see y'all next week. We're probably going to talk more about some NFL. We're going to go into a little bit more deep dive with the division winners. And we're going to talk some more. I mean, it'll be, 2 games? It'll be 2 games done?
Yeah, because Thursday, Sunday.
Thursday, Sunday. So we'll talk some more NBA Finals. All right, guys. 4th quarter is out. Remember, our new time is on Wednesday. And you can check us out anywhere you get podcasts. Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Anywhere, guys. So, everybody, y'all have a great evening. 4th quarter is out. And we're going to see you guys next week. Peace out.